ABC 10 News at 7 starts now.
Spring break has arrived, meaning visitors will be flocking to San Diego just as we're starting to open things up in the red tier. Good evening, I'm Kimberly Hunt. Steve has the night off. ABC 10 News reporter Leah Pizzetti looks at the delicate balance of embracing tourists while avoiding a COVID surge.
With schools on spring break, the red tier now in place, and gorgeous weather, people are coming out to the beach. And while beach businesses love the foot traffic, local authorities are warning people to stay safe. The crowds have returned to the beaches. And with temperatures on the rise, the water is calling. This year, it's not just water safety to consider. Dr. Corinne McDaniels-Davidson with San Diego State's Institute of Public Health says the pandemic cannot be forgotten as restrictions loosen.
We've learned what can happen if you open too quickly or if you loosen restrictions too quickly, especially after the Thanksgiving and Hanukkah and Christmas surge upon a surge. And I think people are a little more cautious now. They don't want to see that happen again.
People like Monty Blair with Mission Beach Rentals, who have kept business going through the past year.
We got surfboards over here, soft ones, we got paddle boards.
He says this is the best spring break they've had in a while with visitors back in San Diego. But lifeguards and police say more people visiting is when things can get dangerous.
The crowds on the bay have been large and a lot of activity. We've seen a lot of vessel accidents. We've seen a lot of speeding.
City of San Diego Lifeguard Chief James Gartland says the past year has brought increased water activity.
Once boating was one of the few things that you could do, recreational boating, we just saw more and more vessels out on Mission Bay.
So officials have some key reminders. If you're going to rent a boat or watercraft, do it from a legitimate business. You can tell they're safe because they'll walk you through a safety class, can show you their insurance, and they'll give you a renter's pass to keep with you on the water. Also, if you're unsure of a safe place to get in the water, just ask a lifeguard. Leah Pizzetti, ABC 10 News.
The San Diego Police Department doesn't increase patrols during spring break. And the county reported 422 new cases today, while our test positivity rate rose to 3%. Another 5 San Diegans have died from coronavirus, bringing that total to just over 3,500. Across the state, clinics are beginning to offer a new COVID treatment specifically retooled for the California variant. New studies show these antibody drugs have a powerful life-saving effect, and they're available for free if you know how to ask for them. ABC 10 News anchor Derek Stahl is going in-depth on how antibody treatments have evolved.
At Family Health Centers of San Diego, Dr. Christian Ramers is preparing a new antibody cocktail from Eli Lilly that costs the government $2,100 per dose. Every person who gets one of these anywhere in the country pays nothing.
This is by far the most effective intervention in terms of therapy for COVID-19 that we've ever had. Way more effective than remdesivir or corticosteroids. And it's upstream. So you take somebody who's just newly diagnosed, you can prevent that hospitalization.
Monoclonal antibodies are lab-made super antibodies engineered to stick to the coronavirus and disable it.
And it's really a targeted weapon against that virus. And those antibodies stay in their body for probably 2 to 3 months, protecting them, working with their immune system to get the upper hand on the infection.
But it's often on patients to seek them out. They have to be given to people within 10 days of them feeling sick while their symptoms are mild and they're not in the hospital. And they're intended for those at high risk, like adults over 65, people with obesity, chronic kidney disease, and kids as young as 12 with high-risk conditions.
You should get access to these therapies because it could save your life.
The treatments were first authorized in November and got off to a rough start. Thousands of doses sat unused during the winter surge because overwhelmed hospitals didn't have the staff or space. The first drugs took an hour to infuse. Eli Lilly's first antibody couldn't stop the California variant. But all of that has begun to change.
There were a lot of skeptics about monoclonal antibodies because the evidence really wasn't there. But in the last couple of weeks, we've seen a couple of really good tranches of evidence.
This month, another manufacturer, Regeneron, published a study showing its antibody cocktail reduced the risk of hospitalization and death by 70%. Eli Lilly shifted to a new cocktail to address variants and cut the risk by 87%. The FDA has shortened the infusion time from 1 hour down to about 20 minutes. And last week, the Biden administration announced it'll spend another $150 million to expand access to the drugs in low-income areas.
And where I think this is headed is to make this really the new standard of care for COVID-19 in the U.S.
Dr. Raymer says Family Health Centers has been in talks with the feds to get one of those grants. He says it would allow them to double the number of patients they serve, from 20 to 40 patients a week. Derek Stahl, ABC 10 News.
There are now at least 18 sites offering these antibody treatments in San Diego County, including most large hospitals. A new infusion clinic will open in the South Bay next month. San Diego's unemployment numbers are moving in the right direction. The jobless rate in the county was 7.2% last month. That's down from 8% in January, but it's still well above the 4.3% unemployment rate from a year ago. Leisure and hospitality, which includes restaurants, saw the biggest gains between January and February, with nearly 13,000 jobs added. Statewide, the unemployment rate is 8.5%. You can stay on top of any new developments with coronavirus by downloading the 10 News app. A free version is available in the App Store. One person is dead after a car accident near SeaWorld. It happened about 4:45 on Dana Landing Road and Ingram Street in Mission Bay Park. The wreck, which left one car upside down, completely shut down traffic in the area. The person killed has not been identified. A murderer who escaped from a prison in Canada has been arrested right here in San Diego. Roderick Muchiki-Quinape was being held in a minimum security part of the prison last October when he escaped. The Marshals Service recently got tips that he was in San Diego. He was located today at UCSD Hospital in Hillcrest. Roderick, who killed a woman in 1998, had been eligible for parole.
First time I was like, oh my gosh, he's just running out there barefoot.
A North Park man sprung into action when he woke up to thieves at work under his daughter's car. ABC 10 News reporter Michael Chen shows what they were stealing and why it wasn't an isolated crime.
Past 1:30 in the morning Thursday, and just off 30th Street, Karina Diaz was asleep in her bedroom while her father, Javier, was in the living room.
He fell asleep on the couch and he just woke up to that drilling sound.
Barefoot and wearing boxers, Javier is seen in surveillance video leaping into action.
Saw the car, pulled up next to my car, and he knew instantly what they were doing.
After a laugh and some cursing, several people get into the car and drive off. Karina's dad got into his truck.
Followed them a couple blocks down and tried to retrieve that license plate. But again, they were going so fast through the neighborhood that he couldn't get a clear view.
Back at home, this is what was left behind. The catalytic converter cut out of Karina's 2008 Toyota Prius.
It's definitely going to be costly.
Her insurance plan won't cover the theft, so Karina must pay the $2,000 repair bill out of pocket. It was just 2 years ago thieves stole a catalytic converter out of the same car.
It is really frustrating.
Frustrations shared by many car owners. In San Diego, between July and December, nearly 250 catalytic converters were stolen, an increase of more than 600% from the first part of the year. The devices are stolen for precious metals contained inside. The Prius is the most targeted by thieves. Karina hoping these thieves will be caught. Her father was able to get a partial plate.
I'm glad he reacted quickly and, proud that happy he's okay.
Michael Chen, ABC 10 News.
Karina's father saw the number 8 and possibly the letters T and F on the license plate. Anyone with information is asked to call San Diego Police. In what appears to be a successful attempt to sneak people into this country, the Coast Guard found an abandoned panga this morning near Point Loma. Fuel cans and life jackets were also discovered nearby. The Border Patrol seized the boat but was unable to find anyone associated with it. Local gas prices continue to hover just below $4 a gallon. The average price for regular in the county is now $3.94 tonight. Gas has gone up 71 cents since the start of the year, and we're seeing the highest prices since November of 2019. The Auto Club says supply issues are no longer a problem, but it remains to be seen if that will translate to lower prices at the pump.